And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 2 of the 2021 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series, driving these GR3 cars with no custom tuning, and the balance of performance setting has been turned on, so you'll see these Nissan GTRs, Chevy Corvettes, Ford Mustangs, Dodge Vipers, and more, all very relatively close in power and weight, and the green flag has been shown. It is not a rolling start, it is a stop and go start here, and we're underway. Going to be even Steven leading him through in the Audi R8. He is on the pole for this race, the two-time NOSSCAR World Champion. We have a double header here today at Willow Springs International Raceway. First we see the GT Cup drivers in these GR3 class cars, and we will have the World Championship event, round 1 of that season, coming up later today. A little bit of a slide there for even Steven, but he holds on to it. He's got the two Canadian drivers, Ned and Timac, running second and third. Castle Bravo goes off the race course. He was scored up there in the 4th position. And now minor contact between he and Jesse Carlson. Jesse Carlson driving the number 48 Ally Chevy Camaro there, and now he is scored in P5. Bill Baldwin in the Mazda was able to avoid all of that chaos. Two-time NOSSCAR Super GT Series champion in the GR1 cars, has never won a championship here in GT Cup, would love to change that here in 2021. Remember folks, the Rolex 8 was considered round 1 for a lot of these teams and race drivers for the GT Cup Series and the Super GT Series. And contact for the race lead. Even Steven and Ned bouncing off each other. It's Viper versus R8. And it looks like Ned is going to make the pass and make the outside line work there through turn 2. And now they head up through the uphill section, the tightest section of this race course here at Willow Springs. What a race we're seeing so far. Top 6, top 7 maybe even have broken away from the rest of the field. They are all nose to tail. Now the closest battle side by side there for a moment was Castle Bravo trying to get to the inside of the 48 Corvette. And Jesse Carlson and Castle Bravo have not left each other since the drop of the green flag in this one. A little bit more contact there, it looks like, as they head through the long swinging right-hand turn, the final turn on this course. They're all chasing Ned, and it kind of looks like there's actually more like there's 8 or 9 cars in this pack. As you can see, Silt Strider, former NOSSCAR race winner and champion on NOSSCAR 15 Victory Edition, running in the 8th position and gaining a little bit of ground on the top 7. A little bit further back there you see Juicy J driving the Nissan GTR number 18 car. He scored in 9th, and Scorpion rounding out the top 10 out of France. Side-by-side battle for 11th and 12th there. Ataxia is going to take it. Shadow drops to 12th. There's Kenny Stump Jr. running in the 13th position, and Crazy Legs, that's Robert Lohman Sr., scored in 14th. Tell you one thing, Ned's got that Twisted T Dodge Viper rolling here. It's a 60-minute endurance race, so there's a lot of time left, and a lot can happen in 60 minutes, especially at a very challenging road course like Willow Springs International Raceway. There's no runoff areas, there's no walls. If you drive a corner a little too hard here, you're going off course, you're getting those 4 tires dirty, and it's going to be another half a lap, maybe even a full lap, until the car feels normal again. Very little room for error here at Willow Springs International Raceway. It's the first race of the season for the GT Cup Series drivers that does not have another class on the track with them. And it's round 2 of the season, 60 minutes of endurance racing here on Gran Turismo Sport. Now we have above shot there. And they're all still chasing Ned. Even Steven running in second, Timac in third. Bill Baldwin, the two-time Super GT Series champion, scored in fourth. And there's Bo the Racer, rounding out the top five. He was able to make a move on Jesse Carlson, and we should touch a little bit here on Castle Bravo. He was at one point scored in the sixth position. Contact was made between he and Carlson again, and Bravo has lost a couple of positions in that classic Martini paint job there. Audi R8, now he's trying to make a move on Juicy J. It's GTR and R8 going at it side by side as they approach turn one. Daniel McGriff, that's Taxia. He's up a couple of positions since we last checked in on him. Shadow up to 11. Johnny Stump scored in the 12th position. Scorpion has dropped a couple of positions here. He now is running in the 13th position, second highest running driver out of France in this race. Top three beginning to stretch it out just a little bit here, and now we've got a battle for second and third, and Timac is going to put the two Canadians in the top two. Winner of the Rolex 8, but keep in mind, folks, he's got no points here so far for the GT Cup Series season. He elected to drive the Audi R18 in the Super GT Series class for the Rolex 8 and was able to get the job done. Wild 8-hour endurance race, and walked away the winner and stood on the podium alongside two of his good buddies here in NOSSCAR. And now he runs in second for round two of the 2021 GT Cup Series season here at Willow Springs, trying to make a move on the outside of his Canadian buddy Ned, but Ned using the power of the Dodge Viper to gap him a little bit there as they exited that turn. They're going through the uphill tight section of this racetrack, and we saw that that was the trouble spot throughout the week here for the test sessions. Again, folks, it is a doubleheader. NOSSCAR World Championship action in the Super Formula cars coming up just after this, and now we do have a battle for the race lead. We've had two different leaders in this race, and now we could have a third if Timac can hold on for the final turn and come around across the line as the leader and lead this lap, and it kind of looks like he's going to do it. The number 32 Molson Canadian Nissan GTR takes the race lead at Willow Springs International Raceway. Problems for Jesse Carlson. He went through the grass back there coming out of the final turn. He drops from 6th back to 7th. Silstrider was able to capitalize and take P6 there. Driving the... I thought it was a Ferrari there. We'll have to get back to you on that. And it's not cooled down at all yet here at the front. And contact there between Ned and even Steven. That was the side-by-side battle for second in the most challenging part of the racetrack. And they're right behind your race leader, Timac, Bill Baldwin. Right there with them in fourth. Bo has lost touch with the top four just a little bit, but he's right there within striking distance if anything should happen. And even Steven found the dirt coming out of that last right-hand turn. Final two turns of the circuit here, and Bill Baldwin's going to take advantage of the rough corner that even Steven had there, and you could see even Steven was shaking his car around, rocking it back and forth on that last straightaway to try to get the tires clean again, and he'll lose P3 for that. And on the left side of your screen, you will have the leaderboard. We're working lap 8 here at Willow Springs International Raceway, and we are at about the 9-minute mark of this 60-minute endurance race. The two Canadians out front being pursued by about 6 Americans in a row, actually, running from 3rd on back to the 8th position. 14 drivers from 4 different countries represented here in today's race, round 2 of the 2021 season. Scorpion off course there. just in front of your race leaders, and he's actually scored in the 10th position right now. Started the race very strong, but he's going to have his work cut out for him if he's going to recover from this one. A lot of track time lost there. Battle for second and third is heating up. Timac has been able to drive away from the battle by just a little bit here. He's gapped them maybe by a second and a half, and it's Ned being hounded here by Bill Baldwin, even Steven, and Bo has really closed the gap on this battle, and he's bringing Strider and Jesse Carlson with them. There are 7 cars battling from about second on back to 7th, only separated by a second and a half. And you can see Bill was trying to get a run there on the inside, but it's not necessarily a passing zone. Ned quickly shut the door there. Oh, and off course goes Ned, trying to get as much speed and as much launch down this straightaway as possible. And now he's going to defend the inside line from Bill Baldwin. Bill looking to advance his way to P2, and that would be the highest he's run all race long. He's going to have a run. He used the draft a little bit there throughout that final turn. Ned is going to close the door. Bill says, no thank you, I'm going. And he's looking to the outside as they go into turn 1. Ned needs to lift a little bit extra to avoid sliding up into the side of Bill, and Bill will have the inside for turn 2. And that's all it took. Bill Baldwin's going to take P2. Even Steven followed him through, and he's going to take the 3rd position. Mazda's now running 2nd and 5th. Bo is gaining ground as well. His car coming to life. We have a Ferrari running in 6th, and we have a Corvette running in 7th. And we're all chasing the Nissan GTR of Timac, but the hot battle to watch on track right now is the one on your screens. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. They're all right nose to tail. You throw an umbrella on top of them. Ned counters back, and this is in the final turn. Even Steven struggled at this corner a couple of times today. And it kind of looked like Steven took the safer approach this time through, but it cost him P3. Or did it? And even Steven's going to use the draft, and he's got a big run back to the bottom as they head into turn 1, and he will take the position back from Ned. And all of this battling is allowing Bo and Strider and Jesse Carlson to stay right there with them, running in 5th, 6th, and 7th. What a shot. That most recent time by through turn 2. What a race we have on our hands. Round 2 of the 2021 GT Cup Series season, posted right here on Gran Turismo Sport. It's a 60-minute endurance race and some green flag pit stops beginning. Strategy for Ned. He's going to give up track position for this, but at the same time, he's going to hope that everybody is on a 3-stop strategy, and he might be able to undercut some of these drivers if they choose to go with the same tire strategy throughout the rest of this race. And we've seen it throughout the years past in NOSSCAR on Gran Turismo Sport. Strategy very much a factor in these races. 60 minutes is a lot of time to play around with the fuel and the tires and see how far you can make it. See if it's smarter to do a 3-stop strategy and pit at the 15, 30, and 45-minute marks. Sometimes it's smarter to do a 2-stop strategy, pitting at the 20 and 40-minute marks. And now we've seen a couple of our leaders make their way to pit road in and around the 14 to 17-minute mark here in this race, and that's telling me that most of these drivers are thinking the 3-stop strategy is going to be the way to go. And amongst the drivers who have made those pit stops, I believe even Steven is the highest running driver who has been to pit road. So once Bo, the current race leader, makes his way to pit road, I believe it's going to be the two-time world champion, Even Steven, taking that top spot for the time being. So much strategy going on right now. I don't believe that Juicy J has been to pit road in quite some time. He might need to come back. He's made an extra pit stop in this race. Shadow scored in 11th. Lets the leader, Bo, go on by. 14 drivers started this race. We have 12 left on the racetrack. The leader working lap 15. You can see Even Steven and Timac are really not that far behind Bo. They're putting those 4 fresh tires to good use. And now they work down the long straightaway, heading towards the final 2 right-hand turns. Like Bo really thought about coming to pit road there, but it looks like he's going to stay on the racetrack and stick with his strategy. And folks, like I said, if he can pull off a 2-stop strategy and just simply spend less time on pit road, having the fastest car on the track might not be a factor. Bo might be able to snag this win here based on fuel and tire strategy, and we'll have to see how this all unfolds. If he can survive for another lap or 2, make sure that he can pit at about the 20-minute mark of this race, he might be able to stretch it another 20, all the way to the 40-minute mark of this one and make it from there. And the battle for the lead is on. Even Steven is going to take the top spot again, folks. He's been to pit road. Timac, the Canadian, the next in line to take the position from Bo, who has also been to pit road. Bo stays on the racetrack yet again, despite losing the race lead, and he's going to soldier on and see what he can do. I think that he just got his tires off in the dirt over here. And we're trying to find him. There he is, and he was off course over there in turn 2. And that is a heartbreaker for the driver of the number 11 Mazda Atenza, and he's still having a difficult time as he comes up to the uphill tight section of this one. Strider has closed into the back bumper of that car, and that's now the new battle for 4th and 5th. Bill Baldwin was able to sneak through, as was the 32 Nissan GTR of Timac. Timac has led the most laps in this race so far. We've had 4 different leaders in this race: Even Steven, Ned, Timac, and Bo the Racer. Bo should be coming to pit road. I would think this time by the tires don't look like they're in very good shape for him anymore, but time will tell. We'll have to see how this all unfolds. 39 more minutes left in round 2 here at Willow Springs International Raceway. Bo on pit road. Going to surrender P5. Was able to stay out and lead a couple of laps. Got some good TV time for that Mazda team. And from this point forward, he's got a lot to recover from if he's going to get back up there. Challenge for the lead and challenge for this win. He needs to hope that the 2-stop strategy is the right call. Scorpion comes to pit road. Driver out of France. Highest running driver out of France in this race as of right now, and he's actually running a hard compound tire, so we're going to see if he's looking to go the long haul here and try to maybe even reach the finish without having to pit again. Eight cars left on the lead lap. 14 started, and 12 remain on the racetrack. Even Steven, the 2-time world champ, is your race leader. And again, folks, it is a doubleheader. We have the World Championship race coming up here after this, and it will be round 1 of the season. To the inside goes Timac in the number 32 Nissan GTR, and he's going to take the race lead back from Even Steven. And it's the 6th lead change of the race. Excuse me, 7th lead change of the race. The draft very much a factor on these couple of long straightaways that Willow Springs offers, and looks like Timac is going to try to open the gap a little bit and see if he can break that threshold so Steven can't use the draft on these straightaways. One thing to keep in mind, Timac, slightly fresher tires than the 2-time world champ Even Steven, who now is scored in P2. Bill Baldwin, closest running car, closest running driver to the top two drivers that are duking it out for the lead, and he's really only about 3 seconds behind the battle for the lead, just in front of him. Zilstrader, former NOSSCAR champion on NASCAR 15, scored in 4th, really knows what he's doing here on the Gran Turismo Sport game, as does Ned, a longtime league veteran on Gran Turismo Sport and looking to make a name for himself here in NOSSCAR, and so far he's doing a great job at that. He was a part of the winning team for the GT Cup class in the Rolex 8 to open the season here, and that was considered round 1 for Super GT and GT Cup for their 2021 seasons. So Ned comes in the points leader to this race, and looking to further extend that, and a 5th place finish or better would certainly be a step in the right direction. There's Jesse Carlson, Triple Crown winner on NASCAR Heat Games in NOSSCAR, holds win in Platinum Cup, Motormaster Series, and Tailgate Truck Series over there. Love the number 48 Ally Chevy Corvette, and he's been running in the top 8 since the drop of the green flag in this one. Even Steven coming back to pit road at the 26-minute mark, and there had to have been something amiss with the Audi R8, because I don't believe that this is a scheduled pit stop. He is down and away, and he surrenders the 2nd place position as a result. But as you can see, he's only fallen now to 6th. Juicy J scored in 7th in the number 18 Nissan GTR, and there's Bo in the Mazda Atenza. And it just kind of goes to show you that some of these drivers that have been running top 2, top 3 all race long have been running a blistering pace, quick enough to open up a gap on some of these other drivers, despite having to make an extra pit stop if they have to. And so this leaves the battle for the lead between Bill Baldwin and Timac. Ned comes to pit road, and he's going to run soft tires to the finish, it looks like. 31 minutes remaining. We are at the halfway mark, and Bill Baldwin going to do the same. Anybody who is on the 3-stop strategy is coming to pit road now, and they're all actually coming a little bit early. Timac still on the racetrack. He's going to continue to lead these laps, but expect him maybe to come to pit road this next time by, or the time after. It's not going to be next time. And I'm a little surprised the crew chief isn't screaming at him, because the longer he stays out on the racetrack, the more time he is giving up to the drivers with the fresher tires, but he's got a big gap to play with. Before the green flag cycle of pit stops began, he had opened up a gap of about 5 or 6 seconds over the 2-time Super GT champ Bill Baldwin. Here he comes, 32-minute mark of the race. Timac pitting out of the race lead. We'll have to see if anybody can pass him while he is still on pit road. The team fueling the car. The Rolex 8 winner would love to come out here and win round 2 of the GT Cup Series season. He has no points scored for this series right now. Entered the Super GT class for the Rolex 8, which was considered round 1 for both series this season. And he comes out in front of Bill Baldwin. Bill heading into turn 2 now. And the gap is about the same as what it was, so this might have actually benefited Timac by staying out a couple of extra laps. He now has much fresher tires than the cars around him, and he might be able to open up the gap a little bit more than what it already is. The Canadians running 1st and 5th, the Americans running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and more. And French drivers running in 10th and 14th, folks. And how about Jesse Carlson? He's been running mostly anywhere from about 5th to 8th all race long, and now he finds himself up in 3rd at the 36-minute mark of this race at Willow Springs. Endurance and perseverance, they pay off, and the grit that Jesse is showing is putting himself in position to stand on the podium alongside some of these other drivers. We have a new race leader. Bill Baldwin has taken the race lead from Timac. It'll be the first time Bill has led laps in this race, and he is the 5th different race leader today at Willow Springs. No championships for him here in the GT Cup Series, but he's got 2 over in the GR1 cars for the NOSSCAR Super GT Series. He had a great run in the Rolex 8, finishing 2nd in the Super GT class, and looking to back it up here in the GT Cup Series. Drivers who finished 1-2 in the Super GT class in the Rolex 8 are now running 1-2 in the GT Cup Series race here today at Willow Springs. Again, folks, it is a doubleheader. World Championship race coming later today in the Super Formula cars. It is also a 60-minute endurance race, and very little room for error here at a track like Willow Springs International Raceway. No runoff areas, not many walls that you'll slide into, and if you miss a corner, if you drive it in a little too hard, all there is waiting for you is dirt and very little traction, folks. And I'll tell you, the race leaders are in heavy lap traffic here. Shadow is going to surrender and let Bill go on by. Robert Lohman Sr. scored in 12th in that yellow Chevy Corvette, rocking number 42 here. And there's the points leader, Ned. Started on pole for this race, was one of the favorites to walk away the race winner here today. And only a couple of mistakes for him in this one. For the most part, it's been very smooth, very clean for him, and he's right there in the hunt for the win still, running in P4. And if I had to go on record and say who's got a shot here, I'd say that the top 5 are all still plenty within striking distance to pounce if something were to happen to one of these drivers, and we have a battle for the lead. Timac has run down Bill Baldwin in the number 21 Mazda Atenza. Bill using every inch of this racetrack, trying to get as good of a launch, the best launch that he possibly can down the front straightaway. He did a pretty good job. He knows that Timac is close enough for the draft to be utilized, and he's able to gain a lot of ground on the couple of straightaways that Willow Springs offers. Coming up to the tightest section of the track, and he's going to take a look to the inside. It's not necessarily a passing zone, but it has been a couple of times here today. Timac takes the lead back from Bill Baldwin. And I don't think it's over yet. We're working lap 35. We're at the 43-minute mark. Bill Baldwin doing everything he can to stay as close to Timac as he can. Keep the draft and try to battle him a little bit later, maybe when the tires are equalized. Timac has slightly stronger tires at this stage in the race. Remember, he chose to stay out a couple of extra laps before making his 2nd pit stop of the event. And now both of them are going to peel off earlier than expected for the Canadian Timac, that's for sure. But you can see on the left side of the screen, Timac has a lot more fuel left in the tank than Bill. Bill ran his completely dry, it appears. And that might mean Timac will have the advantage on the racetrack, not having to fill the car up. It's so full. Down and away he goes. Jesse Carlson takes the lead, 6th different leader of the race. Bill Baldwin down and away, and he'll head through turn 1. Great to see Jesse Carlson out front leading laps here at Willow Springs. Had a pretty good race in the top 8 for most of it, and he's on a slightly different strategy. You can see the car sliding around quite a bit in the toughest part of the racetrack, arguably, and he'll be coming to pit road, I would think, within the next lap or two. And when he does, it will hand the lead over to the Rolex 8 winner, Timac 11. And Jesse Carlson comes to pit road, surrenders the lead, and will fall back now to third after his final pit stop of the race, leaving Timac and Bill Baldwin to settle it here at Willow Springs. The tires are even, so this is the time, folks. If Bill is quicker, he needs to use this last 10 minutes of the event to run down Timac, erase the gap that Timac has created, and battle for it here at Willow Springs. And what a recovery it's been for Juicy J. Fell back to the 13th place position at one point, but he stayed on it, and now he is the third car, one lap down, scored in 8th, and that is much better points than running in 12th and finishing there as well. Scorpion, the front-running driver for Team France, running in 9th. He will not be in the World Championship race later today, but his good friend Beam SKP will be in the Toyota. The pole sitter Ned, and GT Cup class winner for the Rolex 8, came in as the points leader, and he's currently scored in 4th. Not much time left in this one, and unless something major happens, looks like he will finish there. Siltstrider a couple of turns behind him in the Ferrari, having a good run, scored in P5. Bo led laps earlier in this one, was off sequence in terms of strategy a little bit. He's on a 2-stop strategy, and he's got the 2-time NOSSCAR World Champion behind him, and that is even Steven. It's very unlike Steven to be running P7, especially in the GT Cup Series. He is a 2-time champion here in this series as well. Bill doing everything he can to rally a charge here for the race lead. The gap is staying about the same. Timac heading through turn 2. Bill Baldwin exiting turn 1. Don't believe he's going to have the time to do it. And now if the clock strikes 0, if the clock strikes 60 here before Timac comes around to pass the start-finish line, which I believe it will, this will be the last lap. The white flag is going to be shown any second. And all I can really say is, wow, I'm as shocked as I'm sure many of you are. Don't think many of you expected Timac to come out here and lead the most laps at Willow Springs. Very unlike him. And it's going to be a great start for him for the GT Cup Series season in 2021. The first points race for Timac this year, and he wins at Willow Springs. Pulling double duty here in today's double header. We'll have to see how he does in the Super Formula cars. The 2-time Super GT Series champion in GR1 cars, Bill Baldwin, is going to pull it home here in second in the Mazda Atenza, highest running Mazda car. And Jesse Carlson survives. He kept digging all race long. Number 48, Ally Chevy Corvette. He will finish in 3rd. Good battle here for 4th and 5th coming through the final couple of turns at Willow Springs, and it looks like it's going to be Siltstrider hanging on for P4 in the Ferrari along with Ned, finishing P5 in the Dodge Viper. Folks, thank you very much for joining us. It has been round 2 of the 2021 NOSSCAR GT Cup Series season, and stick around. Round 2 of the day, the main event of the evening. Season opener for the NOSSCAR World Championship right here at Willow Springs, coming your way in just a matter of moments. Keep it on the NOSSCAR YouTube channel. Good night, everybody.